gathering here today. I, Dr. Dipanita Deka, Coordinator cum Innovation Ambassador IIC S.B.Deorah College, on behalf of the organizing committee, would like to welcome you all to today's workshop on prototype, process design and development, that is prototyping. Today we have among us an efficient researcher cum innovator in the field of solid waste management, Dr. Pradip, Associate Professor, Mechanical Engineering Department, Assam Engineering College, Guwahati. We also have among us President of IIC, Principal of our college, Dr. Dharmendra Sir, and Convener of IIC, Dr. Dhruvosit Das Sir. Now I'd like to request Dr. Dharmendra Sir to take his seat on dais. I'd like to request our today's speaker, Dr. Pradip sir, to take his seat on dais. Now I'd like to request Dharmendra Sir to deliver his welcome speech.
What about the felicitation?
Sir, after okay, sir.
The Asian Professor of Physics felicitate our honorable guest for the today's guest, Dr. Pradip Baishya, is the Associate Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department of Assam Engineering College, and our resource person, Dhruvosit Das, Convener of IIC of the college, other coordinators and ambassadors of IIC S.B.Deorah College, teachers, and my dear students. Today's workshop is related to prototype design and prototype of the process design and development. What is called prototyping. And we have among us a very eminent resource person, as he has been introduced by Dipanita. So, he is an expert on solid waste management. He has vast experience in this field, and he has developed what is called prototyping regarding solid waste management. And we are sure that today's workshop will be very beneficial for the students as well as for our participants. How this prototype of process design and development is done, which is an inherent part of entrepreneurship or startup movement. That is the main purpose of IIC, encouraging or motivating the students to bring their ideas into reality, into the real business field, so that they are no longer dependent on government jobs. They become job weavers rather than job seekers. That is the main motto of establishing IICs all over the countries by the Ministry of Education under AICTE. And we have been organizing series of lectures.
To request our IIC convener sir, Dr. Dhruvosit Das sir, to share a few words on IIC and purpose of today's event.
Respected Chairperson, President of IIC, Principal of our College, Dr. Dharmendra Sir, respected Resource Person, Associate Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Assam Engineering College, Dr. Pradip Baishya, esteemed faculty members, and their students participants. We are organizing a number of seminars, workshops, impact lectures under the aegis of we had an impact lecture where two lectures are delivered. One on the topic of sustainable innovation and another on the topic of startups in India, challenges and opportunities. Then on 13th of this month, we had another workshop on BMC, Business Model Canvassing. Then in the last month, we had two programs, important programs, one impact lecture and another workshop on design thinking, which was organized in collaboration with Lions Club of Greater Guwahati. So actually, so far the programs that we have organized, these programs are actually basically designed and developed by the AICTE. We have just added these programs to our.
Apart from this, he has a number of research publications in different nations. This is in brief about our today's invited speaker. I'm sure that all of you will be benefited from today's lecture. May I now request the professor to deliver his presentation.
Empaneled expert for Government of Assam on solid waste management for both Swachh Bharat urban and rural. So relating to this, I am in different parts of Assam as well as other parts of the country as well. So basically what I do, I develop solid waste management systems for the municipality as well as the government. That means how you should do your solid waste management. Okay, so today's talk won't be much focus on what is innovation and these and that. It won't be much of theory based. Okay, so it will be somewhat like about my journey in solid waste management. That means how I developed a prototype and how I tried to build it up into a realistic working model. Okay, so it will be basically on that. And I'll be very happy to have a very good interaction from your part. Okay? Yes? Ene subsab bohi aru WhatsApp side ekle nohobo. Okay? You have to interact with me. Yes? Development. So let me just have a little glimpse of innovation. So I think there has been a lot of discussions. As Sir has told, there has been many sessions on innovation. So just one line I just want to add. So what is it? Basically, it's the practical implementation of your ideas that will result in the introduction of maybe some new goods, or it may be services, or improvement in some existing services. That is also innovation. Okay, you should not be somewhat like that we have to develop some big rocket science sort of thing. Then only it's innovation. It's not at all about that. Okay, it may be somewhat building on what is existing. You are carrying your smartphones. Yes? After about 6 months, you want to go for a new one. Why? Because they are upgrading their existing mobile. Yes, they are adding so many other features. Your photo quality, your resolution, screen resolution. Okay, so many things of the customers. Okay, so how the customer behaves and where are they inclined to? Because sometimes it so happens that if you introduce a new product in the market, you may think, no, the customers won't buy it. Okay, but in due course of time, the customers also start using that. Okay, so they also learn to use it. Okay, in here, previously, ami jetia horu asilu, these restaurants were not there. Yes, few hotels were there, we know. Yes, Organised, that customers also learn in due course of time that what is their requirement. Okay, so that's the thing. Then the competitors and suppliers, that is also very important, because sometimes it so happens that you have a monopoly, that you are the sole player, so there is no competitors with you, then nothing to worry. Okay, but once the competitors come, then suppliers, so you also need to develop, you also have to keep a pace with them, right? Then product, and that is harming your environment. recent from this 1st July, they have put a ban on this plastic, single-use plastic. But what has happened? After a few days, 50 microns gone, 75 microns are there in the market. So what do you feel? Will that solve the problem of plastic? Yes? I don't think no. Yes? Even if it's 75 micron, then also it will pollute your environment. Okay? Unless you recycle it. Right? Then the economic conditions. Economic conditions are also very important. Right? Then supply of technological and other types of knowledge of value to innovation. Okay, so first of all. So what is it? Basically, it's a early sample, or it may be a model or release of a product built to test a concept or process. Okay, so it's somewhat like if you have some idea. So initially, very initial thing is that you have to know what is your need. Okay, so based on your need, you will develop an idea. Okay, your need has to be there. Based on your need, you will develop an idea. So where lot of money also. Yes. So that is the most important thing, your finance, right? So what is it? So it's basically developing a early sample, and it is a term used in a variety of contexts, including schematics, diagrams, then your design, electronics and software programming also. Okay, so all these covers your, okay, so ultimately what will happen, the overall cost of making a prototype will always be more. তোমালোকৰ গাড়ী এনেকুৱা ধৰা গাড়ী কিবা এখন নতুন ডিজাইন কোনোবাই চিন্তা কৰিলে, okay, then what is done? Basically একদম প্ৰথমতে এটা prototype বনায়. That might not be a scalable model, okay, so that might be a very small also, okay. So to me, bonaute, you may not be using the actual material as well. Okay, suppose it may not be of metal. Okay, suppose in IIT we have this rapid prototyping machine. Okay, so what is it basically? Rapid prototyping machine is that suppose you develop a design, to me kiba eta design develop korila, and that is in, suppose in your software, or it may be in your pen and paper, suppose. Okay, kagozot tumaloke draw, you can say powder. Okay, it may be your, suppose your PVC powder, plastic or a powder boli kobo para. You just need to feed your design, and based on the programming, that will develop your prototype. Okay, nowadays tumare 3D printer hunisa na? Have you heard of 3D printers? Yes. So 3D printers, what it does basically? 3D printer ki kore? Your 3D printers, in your 3D printers, what you do? You just fit the design in the software. Suppose you use AutoCAD or maybe any solid modeling software. You just need to fit in the program, and based on the program, your product will get developed. Okay, so different type of 3D printers are there. Some are for making use of metal. The metal edi tumak bonai dibo. Some using PVC or plastic. When you go to initially developing a prototype, it's very expensive. Okay, initially as a student it may not be feasible for you. Okay, so that's why you need to open all the sources. What are the sources available? Okay, so then you can develop on that. Okay, so now let me go for the process design. Okay, so prototype, suppose you have developed successfully. ঠিক আছে, মই ভাবি ললো যে you have developed your prototype successfully. The mobile ore kotha kolu, suppose. Okay, you have developed the mobile, your dummy piece or whatever you have developed. Okay, so now what will be your next phase is your process design. Process design means what? You have to find out what are the different components in it. Okay, what are the different machineries required? Each and every detailing you have to do. Okay, so that is your so the feeding raw material, how it will be processed in different machines. Okay, so that is the overall process design. These are very interesting things, process design. Tumaloke jeti physically dekhiba, it's really very interesting. One is your assembly design buli kau ami. In your vehicle, gari bur je banai tumar. If you get a chance to go to Jamshedpur sometime, maybe Tatat gole, you'll be very happy to see the truck jot banai. You have a big assembly line. So initially the chassis are coming, then maybe the wheels are mounted, then the cabin is mounted. Okay, all the different parts are mounted, and at the end you'll see a big driver standing there. He will drive the. So keyhole actually. As I was working in AEC and I stay very far, I stay in Jyotinagar near Guwahati College. So every day I do have class in the morning at 8 a.m. So whenever I go, that's in the early hours, always there will be a vehicle in front of my car carrying the garbage. Okay? It's really very smelly, and always the garbage tries to flow away with air. It was a very troubling thing. So every day when I go, it's a long journey, I used to think, what are the problems? Let me find out if I can eradicate those problems. So it damages the environment, it was harming the animals, cost a lot of money, it is bad for your health as well. So it makes the neighborhood dirty. Then some resources are limited, and when they are gone, we won't have them anymore. Okay, so these problems, then after I saw the vehicles, I started going to the dump site even. That we have budget is also very less, problem is also huge, so how to develop something. So that was going behind my mind every day. And after my survey, I found that all the municipalities, they spend around, I developed a model, but after I developed the model, how to build a prototype, because waste management system is not something like creating somewhat small thing. Okay, it's a big thing I have to develop, which will cost a few lakhs of rupees. Okay, so then what I did, I approached Guwahati Municipal Corporation. So because by default what I will do, as I'm from Guwahati, so definitely I'll feel like going to GMC. I went there, I approached them that I have developed these things. Can you fund so that we can have a prototype of it? Then GMC, as usual, they were running out of funds. They told, okay, I'm not able to pay. Okay, thank you. So I'm not able to pay. So then what I thought, okay, I'll spend from my own pocket. I went there, I asked them that I have developed some model. I just need a space. If you can provide me a space, I will develop my own waste management system, and I'll try to clean your waste. I'll take your waste and process it. They also told, okay, no problem. So they were happy to give me the plot of land. Then there I started on 25th of July 2015. And the demography out there, that means there were people from different fields. Somewhere from Delhi, somewhere from Haryana, somewhere from South, somewhere Assamese people. So a lot of people were, it was a mix. So what happened, the category of the waste, the quality of the waste was also different, because based on your food habits, the type of waste also varies. Na? অসমীয়া মানুহৰ কেনেকুৱা ভাত দাইল চব্জি এনেকুৱা waste বেছি ওলায়, তেনেকুৱা মানুহৰ বেলেগ বেছি ওলাব, ৰুটি ওলাব, তেনেকুৱা বেছি ওলায়. So there was a mixed type of waste that was level was also done. Then visits was not for only once, 4 or 5 visits were conducted. Then monitoring of the waste collected and reward schemes for the household was also done. And these are the 3 basic components of the model. First was the waste segregation bin, second was the dry waste sorting facility, and third was the wet waste sorting facility. Because when we try to collect the waste, basically we have 2 categories. Normal 2 bins from the shop. But most of the people told me that no, we are in flats, we stay in flats, so we don't have much space. So then I thought of, okay, if that is their requirement, let me think of a bin which will be very compact, and if we dispose the wet waste. Okay, because that will smell. Anna gundho labo, your wet waste. So that was collected every day. But the dry part need not be collected every day. Okay? So that was the thing I did. And I made it very simple. Why? Because then only it will be acceptable. Cost factor. The economics part. If it is of not a low cost, what will happen? The people won't buy it. Yes? I can put sensors and not many things I can use it. They automatic, when you move your hand, it will open, your garbage will be dumped. But that will be, cost will increase, so no people will be buying it. Right? So that's why I made it very, very simple. Okay? So this was distributed, and we gave training that you should segregate your waste like this. First was the wet organic, second was the cardboard, paper, plastic, metal, and third component was also there. Third and fourth together we took it in one carry bag. That means there are so many household hazardous. Purana medicine, all these things are there. Then your diapers, then these your sanitary pads, all those waste we try to put it separately in a packet and put it with the dry waste only. Okay, so that was also collected separately. Okay, so this was just the, you can see that around 65% was your biodegradable waste. That majority was biodegradable and 26 was non-biodegradable, and very less contaminated waste were there. So this was the dry waste sorting facility I developed. Okay, so these machineries was all from my pocket only, because government haddangi dile, they were not paying me anything. Okay, more salary poisare ebu mo banaisu. Okay, so this was also a dry waste facility only, sorting facility. Then this was a conveyor belt. This was an automated conveyor belt. So waste was put through here, and here we go for segregating the waste. And the people who are working, they were the staff from Games Village only. Okay, so after they finish their work, they come to the plant for working. Okay, so it was in a very, you can see, the bamboo ting, because I have to think of the cost also. Okay, because as it's a prototype only, and I'm spending it from my own. So that component I have to see, that I don't spend much, because it may not be success also. Okay, yes? So this there, and we were very happy that we were able to get some revenue as well. Okay, even though the people were not paying us. Okay, normally ami ki koro, GMC, they collect fee, user fee from the household. We were not taking, we are giving them free because they have given us the space. So we were not taking any simple. We are using bamboos, and one metal shaft is there in between, and these are the drums. These are also, we bought it from these kabari wala je thake, ting bottle loha plastic, from them we bought it. So this was also at a very low cost. Okay, and these type of different quality of compost we got. Okay, and the total revenue generation, you can see this was around 150 rupees, because the compost was also very good, and we are able to sell that compost also. Okay, so this is just a sample calculation. That means after I completed that, I was very confident that okay, now I can maybe I can go for a bigger model, developing a bigger model. Okay, so then I went for this type of a calculation of this, just a sample calculation of 10,000 population, which will cost you around 40 lakhs rupees. That's actually very, very less when you try to compare the overall cost of developing a solid waste management system. Okay, and after I developed that, what happened? I tried to invite somebody for inaugurating that. And at that time, if you remember, that MGBK Bhanu was there.
And yes.
So he was there. Somebody gave me his number. So somebody told me that, okay, you can invite him. He will be very happy. Then I told him that I have developed this type of a model. So if you can give some time, then you can come. Then he told, okay, I'll come after 2 days. And he called the commissioner also with him, GMC commissioner. They come, somebody has developed something, we'll go to see. And they were really very impressed. Bhanu was really very impressed. He told that how you have developed. That's because in a very small space, it was a very small space, and we were able to do it at a very low cost. But we were able to solve the problem holistically, okay, without environment degradation, at a very low cost. So no odor was. So that was my starting of the journey, how I went in solid waste management. These are just a calculation of the revenue. Then after that, we went for some only composting in Guwahati city, running successfully out there now. So some of the advantages of this model. First is the elimination of the large landfill for dumping of waste, because the major problem is that our here major problem ki ami jabor pelabo jagai nai. Yes, and then the plastic coasters also they have made using these caps. Then plastic shoe insole they have made. So you can see these are the drum composters we have. There's the rotary sieve for sieving the compost we have. There's a conveyor belt for segregating the dry waste. So these vehicles also we have modified in this way. So these were my students actually, ex-students. They are working with me now. Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi in 2014. Under this mission, one of the primary objectives was to keep the religious places clean and hygienic. Keeping in line with the mission, such iconic places was initiated at Kamakhya Temple. Ma Kamakhya Devalaya Committee started Swachh Kamakhya mission with a scientific solid waste management system under the technical guidance of eco-waste management. As Kamakhya Temple is geographically located at hilly terrain of Nilachal Hills, the collection of waste from the households is very challenging. The waste collectors collect the waste and carry to the plant manually. 3 dustbins were distributed to the households and waste is collected in a segregated manner in dry and wet condition. This waste is brought into the waste management plant . waste is segregated and shredded in shredding machine. This biodegradable waste is loaded into the rotary drum composter and converted into organic compost. The waste gets converted into compost in a span of 21 days. Sieving is done using rotary sieve and compost gets ready for packaging. The dry waste is sorted in the dry waste sorting table. After this, the dry waste loaded into the conveyor belt for segregation into different categories of dry waste. These are stored in different chambers. As the dry waste requires a lot of space, these are converted to bales using baling press and stored for transportation to recycling industries. The collected PET bottles are shredded in plastic shredder, which are converted into flakes. The polythene bags and the multi-layer plastics, such as the packet of chips, etc., are converted into paper blocks. The floral waste collected from the Kamakhya temple and other surrounding temples are used for making compost and incense sticks. This project will not only cater to the treatment of waste generated in Kamakhya area, but will also reduce the load in the environment. It will create avenues for employment as well. This is a low-cost, affordable model which can be replicated easily and scalable as per the requirement. Reduction in carbon footprint, clean and green environment, revenue generation are some of the added benefits of the project. In a small shade made with bamboo and tin, and now these projects are costing in crores. Okay, so if at that time I would have stopped that, okay, government is not paying money, okay, I will not do anymore. Or I have developed the model in pen and paper. If I kept it there, it would have been lying in some corner of some government office. Yes? So that passion is very, very essential. Okay, so these things are not my bread and butter. These waste management, I'm doing it, that's my passion. Okay, but I'm very much interested to doing these things. Okay, I'm working in AEC, that's fine. But along with that, I'm much more interested to work on these fields. Okay, so I just want to say that if you have an idea, if you develop any idea, please try to give it a shape. Okay, so don't let it be there only. Okay, you try to carry forward. Okay, you try to take it forward from there. Okay, so that is my last time. We can save the planet before we all say it is too late. Yes? So with this, I would end my talk today. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Could we do it from the waste that is generated within the hostel? We have a hostel out here.
Yeah.
So the waste generated through hostel.
Yeah, exactly.
And what are the things which you have?
So yeah, so basically what you have told that we need to put some earthworms and cow dung, that's fine. If you can add those things, that will enhance the quality of your compost. That's no doubt about it. But the major problem out here, as we are living in an urban setting, finding a cow dung may spend you 200-300 rupees in your fuel cost of your vehicle to find to bring cow dung. Okay, so that's why what we do, we don't use cow dung. Okay, because that is not practically feasible all the time, right? And apart from that, putting earthworms, again, that's not an easy thing. Earthworms are very sensitive. If they are exposed to high temperature or maybe low temperature also, they will die immediately. Okay, so basically what we do in our case, we are not using any of those things. Because we are doing it in a commercial way, because those things, if we are doing it, suppose we are a compost manufacturing organization, then it's okay. Remember, first is your green waste. Green waste means your food, your vegetable peelings, your fruits, those are your green waste. And second is your brown waste. Okay, so brown waste are basically, it may be your small cheap bits of paper. Yeah, compost to works one. Okay, the process, I'll tell you. So composting or mainly আমি দুই ধৰণৰ কম. One is your aerobic composting, one is your anaerobic composting. Aerobic composting is where we use air. That means aeration is there. Okay, and anaerobic, we don't have absence of air. In absence of air, we do composting. So in this case, if you see the figure, you'll find that some holes are there. Yes? In the compost bins, you can, if you see the compost drums, you can see holes are there. So that is for aeration, so that air can get into the waste. Okay? And what we do basically, we load the waste every day. Okay? Suppose, no problem. So you can do, that means suppose in the morning, Ratipa waste tumi pelaba. So you can put your waste in the morning. Along with your waste, suppose you are putting around 1 kg of your green waste, then you can put around 200 grams of your brown waste. Okay, based on the climatic conditions. Okay, so basi bule borokhun ase, that then you may put more. Bule dry ase, you may put less. So once you start doing it, your practice will come. So then we keep on loading for 10 days. Okay, ratiba load korila, then you rotate it for some time. Okay, 4-5 bar ghurai dila, so that it gets mixed. Second day also the same thing, so that you do it for 10 days. Okay, but after 10th day, we don't load the waste. For the next 20 days, we only need to rotate. Okay, so at the end of 30 days, your compost will get ready. So that's the process we are doing it actually. Yes. Okay, so what happens, আমি লগালগ ঘূৰাই দিওঁ. Okay, so that smell যে আমাৰ গোন্ধ যে ওলাই wasteৰ পৰা, what is the reason? Because your waste goes into the anaerobic condition. Okay, anaerobic condition তাৰমানে you are not having proper oxygen air পোৱা নাই waste টোৱে. Okay, so সেইকাৰণে তোমাৰ smell
অলপ ষ্ট্ৰং হওক মানুহৰ ইউজৰ কাৰণে আৰু জলদি মাটিৰ লগত মিহলি
আছে এনেকুৱা. We are using it biodegradable plastic. Okay, so biodegradable plastic actually আমি যোনবোৰ এই কামাখ্যাত সাৰ বনাইছো, your compost, whatever we are making.
We can see that so we are facing artificial flood problems. So is there any possible ways to overcome?
Yeah, actually there are lot many things are going at the government level, but those things I cannot discuss in a public forum, because there are so many things which I cannot disclose it. Maybe if I have a cup of coffee with you in some restaurant, I can discuss with you everything, okay? But not in here. So at the government level, lot many things are going on, but that is still on pen and paper. Okay, practically implementation is very, very less.